Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Game 2 of the ZOTAC number 257 finals between Lucifer and Reprisal. And on that note, let's go ahead and introduce the players. We have Lucifer spawning as the orange undead in the top right versus Reprisal spawning as the teal human in the bottom left. This is going to be good. I'm excited. I really am excited about this. This is an amazing series to get to watch. I didn't get to watch these live, unfortunately. So here I am watching them for the first time. Very excited. I don't know who wins, and I'm excited to find out. Of course, I root for Lucifer. He is undead, and he's my favorite player. So of course, I must root for Lucifer. He came very close last week to winning ZOTAC number 257 against Thu. Very, very close, as you probably recall if you watched those games. And so here he is against Reprisal. Both two very, very, very strong players, and so yeah, I don't know much more to say about it other than that, but I am excited, and there we go. This is it looks to me like a standard Fiends build right here. Generally, yeah, this is a standard Fiends build. What that means, or why am I saying standard? Ted Fiends build is what I was thinking. He did a standard Fiends, not last game, he did a Ted Fiends last game. I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry, Ted Fiends, yes. Which is a very good strategy to use. One of the better ones that there are against human. And it gives you a lot. We see this Acolyte coming over here. We see the Archmage militiaing up, and going ahead and trying to creep out this Goblin Laboratory. The Acolyte actually managing to get away just in the nick of time. Over here in the Undead base, we do see no Nerbian Tower. It's starting to upgrade right now, and we see this Footman that we can come in here immediately coming in. Lucifer immediately trying to get this round off, failing to do so. And we can see that Reprisal is creeping over here using his militia. The Death Knight is on its way. He might be able to pick off a militia right here. Maybe this one right here. It's down to 163 life. It's going to take a little bit of damage. Oh, and he went for the steal, and however, Reprisal did go ahead and stop attacking it just above 100 HP. So when Lucifer nuked it, it did not actually manage to kill it. And so Reprisal was able to pick it off. So Lucifer had no experience right here, and Reprisal at level 2, 212 experience. So that's a good spot to be at for Reprisal. Not the greatest positioning here for Lucifer, unfortunately. But if we look back over here, we can see that there is a Acolyte that was taking damage right here, and it's managed to live. Here's a Footman that was fighting the ghouls, and it's over here. Lucifer may very well be able to pick it off. One more hit, and he will be able to coil it, or he might just let these creeps do a little bit of damage and then coil it. However, instead he chooses to just let it die to the creeps, instead keeping his mana up. Not a bad choice. Not a bad choice at all. He needs to be able to use his mana against this Archmage, perhaps, because he's down to 318 life, 319 life. And some coils on that can do a lot of pressure in the early game, especially if it's already down this low. And as you can see, whenever he's not going for a tier 2 tech, he is going for a fast expansion. If we look over here really quickly at the Undead base, we can see that he is doing Fiends, as you would expect with a Ted Fiends build, and it's on its way out. And if we look one more time real quickly, we can just check to see if he has Backpack Upgrade this game. He does not have Backpack Upgrade this game. He got it last game. He used it to devastating effectiveness, able to bring in an orb and several skeleton rods, I do believe, which was very, very good. It allowed him to have pretty much non-stop pressure on the opponent's expo. In this game, we can see that he is going to go ahead and go for another Creep Jack right here. And this is on the expansion going up creep right here. We do have several low HP militia in this fight. We do have a full mana Death Knight. He has two rods of two stacks on his rod that are left that he will be able to use whenever there's some creeps come out. And there's a creep that died because the golems do not drop corpses that can be summoned into skeletons. You can see a little bit of a creep experience Jack going right there. He coiled the Forest Troll Berserker to finish it off. I went for the second one, didn't quite get it. Using one of the skeleton rod charges, he still has one left. There's only, it looks like only two peasants left alive after that. So that's really good for Lucifer. There are several footmen, however, as you can see. 6 footmen and a level 3 Archmage. So Lucifer is going to have to be a little bit careful here. I don't know if he could win a direct confrontation because he just does not have enough Fiends yet. So that is good for Reprisal. He can defend this as well as harass if he so wants to. You can see some skeleton warriors on their way in, and this means that Lucifer is tier 2. Over here, if we look at his base, you can see the Lich is coming out. It does have, he re-upped on his Rod of Necromancy, and probably going to be throwing down a Slaughterhouse at some point. Over here, we can see that Reprisal is not too concerned about the skeletons. He killed them, and he's going towards this creeping thing. He might creep here, and he goes ahead and begins to creep. If we look over at Reprisal base really quickly, you can see that it is researching defend. Very useful against fiends. It's very important if your opponent gets several fiends. You need to have defend if you have if you're footman heavy, and can intend to directly fight. We can see that there isn't a lumber mill going up just yet over here at his main base. Maybe over here at his expansion, not quite yet. And so he might be going for a tech or something soon. He doesn't really have enough resources just yet to do any of those. But he is creeping quite strongly, quite heavily. And we can look over here and see that Lucifer is also creeping, going for level 3 if he can get it. His Lich is out, and here we do see that he's going for lots of fiends, as well as slaughterhouses. This looks like it's going to be one of the big fiend pushes that we were talking about last game that we have seen several times from Lucifer against humans. So this will be an interesting thing to see if he manages to do that. And then over here we can see that Reprisal just creeping on his Lucifer's natural shop right there that he can get, buying maybe buying some boots of speed, maybe not having enough resources to buy a boots of speed, and instead we're going to look at his expansion really quickly. And over here the lumber mill is down, so now we can start to see the guard towers go up. Reprisal does need to get some guard towers or something. He needs to do either guard towers or he needs to be harassing. He is harassing the shop over here. Lucifer, a pretty happy person, as we saw against his games from through last week at ZOTAC number 256, to trade harass for expansion. To let the human come in here and harass his base while he attacks the human's expansion. However, in this case, he was very close. He said, you know, I'm going to come ahead and force us into a fight. And as you can see, that Reprisal's Archmage staying out of the way, doesn't want to get too much caught up in this fight. And we can see that a lot of these footmen are just going straight for these acolytes, not really making too much of an effort to try to kill the fiends too much, but he definitely was just doing what he could to slow down Lucifer's economy, pick off what he could. 5 of his footmen have died, and one of them will get away. Quite a slaughter right there. I don't know. I think one of the acolytes died, but Lucifer did have 6 acolytes, so not too big of a deal for Lucifer. Reprisal kind of sticking around with his Archmage, having the footmen being chased over here, buying just enough time, hopefully, to see these towers go up before Lucifer gets here, putting the shop in a great position to help defend these towers. As you can see, Reprisal actually going ahead and buying a Goblin Zeppelin, and we can see that he's going to do some kind of a harass over there. And we can see over here the undead army just coming over here and attacking this here guard tower as it completes. He's going to be able to take that one out, but here's another one. He's actually going to be able to take out the second one as well. So there's only going to be 3 towers up right here. If we look over here, we do see a sapper, and we do see the Lucifer going ahead and attacking things. The sapper taking quite a bit of damage, having to just bust into the Halls of Dead. Not the greatest target, not the ideal target for a sapper. It's not going to do a whole lot unless you have 3 or 4 of them against the Halls of the Dead. In this case, we do see also the Archmage is doing some harass on those acolytes. And over here we can see that the Shredder actually goes down. It's a big deal because it's really your wood line as a human with your expansion. But he does have enough wood right now to sustain that loss. However, now he is starting to lose his peasants that are on the gold. Not exactly what he wants. Doesn't really have enough here. These 3 towers just not enough to deter Lucifer from this fight. And if we look over here at this harass, you can see that between the Spirit Tower, another Spirit Tower is coming up, and these ghouls, Reprisal is not really able to do all that much to this to the undead base. And here we can see one of the Arcane Towers, the Arcane Tower going down, and then with the Arcane Tower down, that is the biggest deterrent probably for an undead's heroes, but the Guard Tower is not that much of a threat, and they will die without much to do about that. Here we do see several militia coming in from the back, trying to do something, but by themselves, what are they going to be able to do against this army? I'm not sure. We can look back over here and see if 4 of the no, never mind. 4 of the acolytes, right? So 4 of the acolytes. Only 1 acolyte has died to that harass. So we look back over here really quickly. The militia and the footmen able to do quite a bit of damage over here. Is it going to be enough to actually take these out? Lucifer, of course, does not have enough mana to coil anything because he was drained completely by the Arcane Tower. We do have a meat wagon in play as well, and Reprisal's Archmage over here. He does have a TP as well as a healing scroll, and he's still in that. He's back into the Zeppelin, and he's not going back to the undead base. He's coming to his expansion with his hero. Does he have a Mountain King? The Mountain King is almost out of his tier 2. He's building Arcane Sanctum in his base, and doing what he can against this, trying to hold this off as best as he can. His Archmage immediately going down, buying a healing salve and using it as well as a clarity potion. Not trying to lose anything. He's going to kill this meat wagon. The meat wagon unable to really do too much to get away from there, from that attack right there. Here we can see that Lucifer does have an obsidian statue out. The statue able to keep his army quite to full HP. We do have the Mountain King as well as the Archmage at level 4 out, so as well as the Footman, Reprisal may be able to win this fight right here. Lucifer only has enough mana for 1 Nova and I believe 2 coils. One of the Fiends might go down. The Fiend gets Dark Ritualed, giving the Lich about 50 mana, and not really the greatest position for Reprisal right here. He has lost several of his expansion economy right there. A lot of that economy is gone. However, the Town Hall is still up. It's something he can recover from. This is definitely a recoverable position. He just needs to push Lucifer off, as all he needs to do. If he brought in some militia right now, I think that would probably work pretty well. We do see a ghoul that was being brought with a Rod of Necromancy about to go down. It gets stunned, but however it gets coiled as well, and he dies, able to pass the Rod of Necromancy before he dies. However, if he died, the Rod of Necromancy would have been dropped on the ground, giving Reprisal a chance to pick it up, which would have been quite good for him if he could have had that. Not quite as good for him to have, for Lucifer to have that, but it is what it is. Sorry about that. And we have this Zeppelin here. It's good to be able to micro your units, pick them up, which allows you to avoid incoming projectiles such as the damage from the Fiends. We do see a Breaker out on the field. A Spellbreaker is very good. Not too good by itself, however. A lot of times you'll see humans waiting to get 4 or 5 of them before they actually bring them in against the Fiends, because they are pretty easy to focus fire down in small numbers. Definitely a bigger benefit to have them in when you have a bunch of them. However, in this sort of a situation, there's not a lot you can do. You have to bring what you have in, because this Town Hall is going to go down otherwise. As you can see, the Skeleton Warriors focusing on the peasants that are still collecting gold. And Reprisal finally saying, okay, you win. I'm going to have to back off and go creep or do something else in the meantime. Again, Reprisal does have the ability to go creep and wait for, try to get some kind of an experience advantage maybe while Lucifer finishes off that Town Hall. However, he waited quite a while to do that, and so I'm not sure he's going to be able to really pull that off. We'll see. Lucifer not directly attacking his base, deciding, well, I've done that, I'm going to maybe try to get level 5 on my Death Knight or something, which would be very, very good for him. I don't think Reprisal is going to be able to get an experience advantage against Lucifer at this point. What he might need to go for is he might need to try to find a weak spot maybe in his base with some sappers or something, because he could very conceivably take out all of these ziggurats and the acolytes very quickly if he can get some sappers in there. So it's something that could happen. We do see Lucifer jacking Reprisal right here at this creep camp, doing a bit of mean damage to that Mountain King with the Nova and the Focus as well as the Coil. The Mountain King being forced to retreat, of course, as well as everything else. So the Expo is down. Lucifer is almost at tier 3. He might be at tier 3 now. He is at tier 3, in fact, so he will be able to bring in Orb, and he does have backpack research at this point, so he can bring in Skeleton Rods or an Orb. If we look at the human's base, you can see he is still tier 2. Has double Sanctums at this point, and he is making as many breakers as he can. Not really the greatest position here. Again, of course, because he is behind now on economy as well as the tech and hero level, and of course this matchup very, very dependent on hero level. Oftentimes you will find that hero levels are the deciding factor in a human versus undead matchup, and so that's not good, because as you can see, 5-4 is of course much better than 4-2. So Reprisal not in the best spot. He's gonna have to be creative to win this match, or at least to stay in the game. If he can get to the late game, he won't be as bad off, because in the late game he will be able to recover his experience advantage slowly by picking off acolytes or something and picking off units here and there. He needs to be able to get to tier 3 to get his 3rd hero out. He needs to be able to put up another expansion. He needs more towers, but not really here. He needs more towers at maybe over here or something. Doing what he can to creep, instead of choosing to invest any money in an expansion or towers, he has, though, of course, chosen to invest all of his money in items and breakers. And we do see a Dreadlord out as the 3rd hero for the undead. That's not good for Reprisal, because the undead does have the ability to just cast sleep on one of the heroes, as we can see right there. When that happens, that really puts your hero out of commission until it can be attacked, which there's a short brief period where your hero is invulnerable when he first gets slept, where you cannot attack him. So definitely frustrating to have to deal with a sleep as well as everything else. These are Frenzy Ghouls. Frenzy Ghouls are incredibly good against breakers. Here you see the Immediate damage going off onto the Mountain King as soon as that sleep is broken with Coil Nova and a bit of Focus Fire. Running away, chasing down the Mountain King. The Mountain King getting past a Teleport Scroll and immediately using it. The Archmage immediately taking a ton of damage as soon as the Mountain King begins to focus the TP, and the GG is called because the Archmage goes down. A pretty good game. So Lucifer is up 2-0. Lucifer needs to win one more game in order to win the ZOTAC number 257 versus Reprisal, who needs to win 3. So Reprisal can do it. He's not out just yet, but we'll see you in game 3 and see what happens. So great game and GG.